Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on What If Spider-Man Had Rescued Gwen Stacy comic review. Now, as you know, this was part of the What If continuity. What Ifs are stories that what would have happened had things been different. And this was meant to be the kind of alternative, what would have happened had Gwen Stacy lived. So the cover has Spider-Man reaching out for Gwen Stacy, while the Green Goblin's got his pumpkin bomb. And it starts off how Spider-Man is looking onward, thinking of Gwen Stacy. And he's thinking to himself saying, "Hi Gwen, it's me. I haven't forgotten. I tried to forget you. I know you'd want it that way. I really tried. Sometimes I even managed to go for weeks at a time without thinking of you." And so he remembers that, every place he's been to, every restaurant, every place, he remembers how much he loved her. And he says, most of all the time, to remember the joy. Because if I lose that, then all I have left is the horror. And remembers how, Norman Osborn, born as the Green Goblin, almost won, defeated him, but knocked Gwen Stacy off. And tries to reach for her, but ends up breaking her neck. When he says, "I'm easy the most. Who else could have saved the fallen girl from certain Gwen? Hey, Gwen, what's wrong? Don't you understand? I saved you. You can't be." And so he mainly leaves off after, talking with Gwen. But one of the Watchers points out a different reality to what would have happened had Spider-Man made the correct choices. And it starts off how at the George Washington Bridge, the Green Goblin's like, "Spider-Man, or should I say, Mr. Parker, I have your woman up here. You're my friend. I trust you understand what that means." Cuts his pumpkin boy. "Up now, I've been real friendly, considering your problem and all that." And so they get into a fight. Norman Osborn gets defeated, but in this reality, Spider-Man manages to jump after Gwen Stacy, rescues her, and Spider-Man pretty much falls into the water where Norman Osborn thinks he's won. And he's like, "At last, I've won! A fall from that would have killed anyone. There's no way on earth that cursed wall-crawler could have survived. After all these years, Spider-Man is out of my hair forever. And with Spider-Man dead, there is nothing to prevent me from assuming my rightful, if long version, as crime boss of all of New York." So after, trying to give Gwen Stacy the kiss of life, she manages to survive and is freaked out that the man he loves is Spider-Man. But he's forgotten about what happened to her father, and that was back in issue 90 of Spider-Man. So he talks with her and explains what's going on, and even wants to make things right, asking, "Miss Stacy, will you marry me?" Which I think is a bit too soon, because she just fallen off a bridge and all this happening. And so she automatically jumps at it, saying, "Haha, Mr. Parker, you don't back out this one that easy. My answer is yes." And so he decides to handle Norman Osborn, where Norman Osborn is talking with all the crime boss about dealing with Spider-Man, but turns out Spider-Man is alive, knocks him down, and even goes against the Green Goblin. And suddenly all the other crime bosses go after him, but Norman tries to throw a pumpkin bomb that manages to make his getaway, and decides to mail, Spider-Man's identity in that into the post. Now, shouldn't Spider-Man at least worry about this? Because Norman Osborn did figure this out in one of the earlier issues. So Harry and Norman Osborn are talking, and Norman gets angry, saying, "Shut up, you snivelling weakling." And so, pretty much, Spider-Man and Norman Osborn get into a fight, while Harry tries to take down Spider-Man, but webs him down. And Norman Osborn in that realizes and goes back to his normal self, where him and Harry embrace, and he promises that he'll get him the best help money can buy. And after that, Peter and Gwen decide to, tell him Aunt May the good news that he's getting married, and even Flash is his best man, which I would have expected Robbie or someone else to be. And so, pretty much, Gwen Stacy and Peter have one last talk, and they get ready for the wedding, and just as you think things are going to work out, John Jameson shows up saying, "That's him, men! That's Peter Parker!" "Okay, man, you heard Jameson. Be ready." Also known as Spider-Man. So I'm surprised that Peter didn't really check if Norman Osborn had any one last trick up his sleeve. And turns out Spider-Man's identity has been posted to the public. Aunt May faints from the shock. And after this, Peter pretty much leaves quickly, and Robbie berates him for doing something this selfish, saying, "It was never that way, man. You weren't just a boss to Peter. You know that. As Spider-Man, he saved your skin a dozen times or more." And even finds out that Jameson's published it. And he's like, "Don't you realize what this means, Jonah? Every villain he ever defeated will be going after Peter now." And so, pretty much, Robbie quits the Daily Bugle and promises Gwen that they are going to fix this, with Jameson leaving in an empty room. And Peter pretty much thinking how he's going to get through this. How is he going to, try and make things right? And the story ends with the Watcher saying, "And so, troubled man stands, broods with the fate of society at stake. What will his decision be? Only time will tell. Time and the Watcher." And yeah, this is the story. I actually think it's a pretty good issue. I feel like it leaves room for a sequel, and it's a shame it never got one. So it deserves a thumbs up. A good story done right. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.